Okay, so let's get to Dr. Ako. Yes, what's your issue that you want to review?
Okay, thank you very much, Samson, and good morning to my fellow panelists. Good morning to viewers and listeners. Obviously, during the week under review, politics caught my attention. Of course, the international politics and local politics as well. I'm not a career politician, though. Then I think that the coup in Guinea has been dissected very well. And for me, the only thing is when Alpha Conde changed the constitution, was it time when ECOWAS leaders should have taken him on and then probably enforced that he handed over power? In doing the enforcement, what do we usually have to do? Is it a case that we need to get military in there and then also ask that he moves away? It happened at some point, but I'm not too sure. And then we ask the question, is this coup good or bad? In my opinion, there's really no good coup, especially if people have to lose their life in the make of it. However, if you see the overwhelming support that the coup had gained, then I say that obviously the political leaders of the ECOWAS failed the country when Alpha Conde tweaked the constitution to allow himself to stay in power. Samson, of course, the Ghanaian politics also caught my attention as usual. And the commentary on the do or die utterance by former President John Mahama really caught my attention. Indeed, he did mention that in an interview at Akina FM in Techiman. Yes, of course, his detractors have claimed that it was in bad taste and others, and that is where the politics really comes to play. For me, the clarity of thought of somebody wanting to say something is in his head. I mean, I cannot explain what somebody wants to say better than what he intended to say. But again, how you say it is what makes people put a spin or comment about it. And John Mahama has come to explain what he intended to say with the do or die comment in relation to election 2024, which I think is quite far away, and we should even be cautious in beginning to tackle such things. Yes, he was very clear that this do or die comment was an idiomatic expression. And for me, it's clear in my mind, and I understand what an idiomatic expression is. I understand what he meant by do or die. I'll just posit it with me. When those days we were in secondary school, hoping to go to medical school, would come to say Operation Medical School or suicide. And some people will respond, do or die. What did they wanted to say? They said, we had to do any and everything that it took to get ourselves into medical school to become doctors. But having said that, why would elite politicians not understand that? It is because it has to do with the seeking of political capital for the purposes that they desire. And in doing that, the opposition party, that is 2NDC, that is NPP, will try to seek that capital because all the time that is what happens in this country, seeking political capital for such things. So this comes in place of the fact that you'd hear a die in the statement when they came to discuss that why did he say do or die, and then you turn it around and say President Akufo-Addo did mention all die be die. So the equalization then starts from that basis. But Samson, you see, they are not the same comments as far as I understand. But then, however, you'd understand that President Akufo-Addo is on record as the most vilified politician in Ghanaian history. And who did that? It is the same opposition NDC who did that. So at the least opportunity that the NPP or any other can get to begin this process, they would take it. And this is where my problem is with Ghana.
Are you suggesting that it is okay for the politicians to do what they call propaganda or mislead their followers intentionally? So when it came up and people started talking, I asked myself, maybe my English is not up to scratch. Let me pick up my dictionary. And I've just opened the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I've gone to synonyms for do or die. It says bent on or upon, bound, decisive, determined, firm, hell-bent on or upon, purposeful, resolute, resolved, set, single-minded. The NPP has done a press conference, and you can clearly tell the language. And there is a great mass of their followers who believe that what former President Mahama said means they are going to foment trouble. There will be violence in the 2024 elections.
Okay, Samson, and I would say that that should not be the case. If that is what he really meant to say, then it is a very poor situation for our country. But importantly, former President Mahama said this has to do with electioneering at the polling station. And for him, he's not ready to go to the Supreme Court. Then I asked myself, why not? He was at the Supreme Court and won one verdict on the same. And the second verdict in 2020 went to another person. Why must he think, or the NDC think, that that verdict was not proper?
Interesting.
So then it goes to say that in totality, the temperature of the political climate in Ghana is very high. And we must be careful about our utterances such that we don't raise the temperature any further, risking an escalation of violence and other things. And my conclusion on this is that former President Mahama is a communication expert, and we must be careful in the choice of words that we make in our discussion in the political climate, lest we risk a situation where our words will be used against us in the future. The debate in the Ghana politics must focus on the substantial issues of the economy. It must focus on how health is provided in the country. It must focus on bread and butter. And let's leave this politics thing to the people who decide who they want to vote for in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ako Akoto-Ampao is Medical Director, Eastern Regional Hospital, Koforidua.